Hello YouTube and welcome back to another Dare to Game video. Today we're playing Elden Ring and we're doing another weapon video, and today's is top 5 best axes, so these are going to be one-handed axes. And of course we're going to be doing this as always. We're going to be rating it based on how much damage they can do, any special attacks they might have, average guarded damage negation, all that sort of stuff. And we're going to be testing them all at max level, comparing each other like that, and with all the stats maxed out, so we're not experiencing different skill stacking in comparison to other weapons. So it's going to be all things considered equal, like I like to say. So let's just dive on in and start off with number 5. So at number 5 we have the Sacrificial axe, which you can see I am holding in my hand right here. So for this weapon we have a max attack power of 740 and an average guarded damage negation of 36.6. For attributes required to use this one, it is strength of 16 and dexterity of 10, so nothing ridiculous there. No passive effects, and the two-handed attack with this one is the sword dance move. So this is a unique weapon that can be attained once per journey, so you can get multiple of them just by playing a New Game Plus mode, which you can do up to 7 times, so obviously you can get lots of these weapons. And if you want to find it, you have to come here, so you can see where I am on the map. We're on the Weeping Peninsula of Limgrave, so you got to come down through here. And if you look, here's Castle Morn. We're north of there, up by this ruin, between this ruin and this wall. If you come here at night, and it has to be at night, you'll get attacked by one of 3 death birds that will spawn around the map. And like I said, if you come here at night, this one will spawn. It comes here, you kill it, and it will drop this axe. So it's decently easy to get. I mean, the death bird can be a tough fight if you're not ready for it, but honestly, it's a pretty easy one in my opinion. And once you've killed it, like I said, you get this axe. So that is how you get the Sacrificial axe. So here we have our light attack for combat. You can see that the moveset is pretty standard and makes sense for axes, ends up in a ground pound. Here's our heavy attack. Well, that was our jumping heavy attack. I guess I'll go to a standing heavy attack against this guy. It just builds up and does one powerful strike. You can see we hit 1200 there, so not bad. And here's our two-handed attack. So the fun thing about the two-handed attack, like you see, it does that quick double hit, and then if you follow up with another one, it does a pretty powerful downward strike immediately afterwards. So decently powerful, nice axe, real good, versatile in a lot of combat, pretty good at shield breaking, honestly decent in frenzied combat, and like most axes, actually is a pretty good weapon to dual wield. So that is number 5, the Sacrificial axe. Let's move on to number 4. All right, and so at number 4, we have the Iron Cleaver. So you can see I've got it here in my hand, and axe might be a bit of a misnomer for this one, but it is part of the axes class, and it's actually a really good weapon. So that's what it looks like. As far as stats are concerned, we have a max attack power of 764, so a little bit above the last one, and an average guarded damage negation of 37.8. As for attributes required to use this one, strength of 15 and dexterity of 7, so decently easy to use. There are no passive effects, but it does have one of my favorite two-handed attack powers, which is Wild Strikes. So I'll show you why that's one of my favorites later. But that's it stat-wise. As far as getting this weapon goes, it is a random loot drop from misbegotten creatures. So there's misbegottens all over the map. You can see we've got some on this pile here. I think I actually picked this one up from the one that's attacking that guard up there. The flying ones, basically. So you gotta just kill misbegotten creatures to try to drop this. I find it to be decently common. It's still classified as a rare loot drop, but I've gotten it quite a few times. So as far as finding them goes, obviously we're down here in Castle Morn. This is probably the best place to go to look for it, just because it's an early game location. But you can also find them in Morn Tunnel, the Weeping Peninsula, basically scattered around the rest of the Weeping Peninsula, the Unsightly Catacombs in Mount Gelmir, and also in the Royal Capital. So up in Lindell, the Royal Capital up here, you'll find them all over the place. But like I said, the Weeping Peninsula is probably your best bet for finding them, and Castle Morn has a heavy concentration of them. So I guess I could just show you the attack here instead of testing it out on guards. Here's our light attacks. You can see it does a quick chopping attack, so there's very little build-up. You can do them pretty quickly. Yeah, gotta roll. Here's our heavy attack. It's just basically the same thing, but charged up for a stronger power attack. And now I'll show you why I like the two-handed attack so much for this one. So basically, it just keeps swinging. It's a real powerful attack that swings pretty fast, and it just keeps swinging. You hold it, and it just keeps swinging. Obviously, you can see it's draining our magicka to do that attack, but it's really good for taking out crowds of enemies. So yeah, like I said, literally, you just keep holding it, and it just keeps swinging. Which makes it one of my all-time favorite two-handed attacks. Let's see if one of these guys dropped it. Oh no, that's from the dog. But yeah, so like I said, anytime you find misbegotten enemies, they have a chance to drop the Iron Cleaver. And like I said, any of these in the castle could drop it or elsewhere, but the one up on top of this wall here. So if we look at it here, this rampart over here, that's the one where I get it from basically every playthrough. I'm able to find this thing right the first time I visit Morn Castle. I'll find it from the misbegotten creature up there. So that is how you get the Iron Cleaver and what it can do. So that's number 4, the Iron Cleaver. All right, and so for number 3, our middle one, we have the Jawbone axe. So you can see it's just an axe that appears to be made out of quite a large jawbone. As for the stats on this one, we have a max attack power of 742 and an average guarded damage negation of 37.3. So it's going to be real similar to the Iron Cleaver, but in my testing, I found it hitting a little bit harder or a little bit more often. So that's why I put this one just above it. As for attributes required, strength of 14, dexterity of 8. Again, no passive effect, but again, we get that Wild Strike's two-handed effect, so it's the same reason I like it is the same reason I like the Iron Cleaver, so it's got that same two-handed attack. As for getting this one, again, unfortunately, I have not found any set locations. It is a random drop from Ancestral Followers. So you can find Ancestral Followers in the Siofra River area, which is where I am, also in the northwest Liurny of the Lakes region by the Minor Erd Tree, and then in the Nokron Eternal City. So basically, especially early game, your best bet is going to be to come down here to Siofra River. And so to get into this area, you enter from the Siofra River well, which is over here in the Mist Woods or whatever. Yeah, the Mist Woods, right here by the Minor Erd Tree. That's how you get down into here. And once you do, you just have to find an Ancestral Follower, which isn't very hard. They're all over the dang place. And so down here, you're going to find the ones that are like these ghost versions, but they drop it just as well. For some reason, I'm not swinging my axe. There we go, now I swung it. So basically, you just have to pick out the ones that have the axe wielded and kill them. And eventually, one of them will drop the axe for you. Let's see if this one dropped it. Nope. Arrows and other stuff. But anyway, that's how you get it. Like I said, I haven't found one specifically that drops it, but if you kill enough of them, and there are a lot of them down here, one is bound to drop it. Just for fun, I'll show you the attacks, even though they're going to be pretty similar to the Iron Cleaver. So there's our light attacks, doing pretty good. Here's our heavy attack. So a nice powerful heavy attack. We'll do another one where we're standing completely still. So you can see it just builds up a little bit longer and hits for a lot. And then of course we have that same two-handed effect. So it just keeps going, fully automatic, two-handed effect. Gotta love it. Let's try it one more time. And it doesn't seem to get broken if you get hit or anything. It's just a really, really good attack. So that is number 3, the Jawbone axe. Again, these, since there's, lots of them, basically you'll just keep looting until you get 2 if you want to get 2 of these. But that is how you get the Jawbone axe and what it can do. So that's number 3. Let's move on to number 2. All right, and so for number 2, the second best one on this list, and probably the one that I use the most frequently as far as axes are concerned, we have the Stormhawk axe. And I think you'll agree this one looks pretty dang cool. Probably the coolest looking one on the list so far, at least in my opinion. As far as stats on this one are concerned, we have a max attack power of 822 and an average guarded damage negation of 35.3. This one has for attributes required, 19 strength and 15 of dexterity, and then no passive effects, but we do get the Thunderstorm two-handed attack, so that's pretty cool. As far as finding this one goes, this is one of the both easier ones to find and easier to find 2 of them. So there's multiple locations you can get them on the map, but the best spot to go is over here to the village of the Albinaurics. And now, to get this axe in this location, you have to have met Nefali Lo at, and you'll meet her in Stormville Castle when you're making your way through there. You meet her, and then afterwards she's going to go to Round Table Hold. Once she's at Round Table Hold, you exhaust all of your dialogue options with her and her father, who is the all-knowing one. And after that, the next time you'll find her is over here in the village of the Albinaurics. And so you can see her here at the spawn. All we're going to do is run through here, kind of past this little graveyard, until we get down under the bridge here. And you're going to find some loot, because she's dead. And this is where her body is. So you pick it up, and you will actually get 2 Stormhawk axes. So that is how you get the Stormhawk axe, or actually, more accurately, it's how you get 2 of them. As far as attacks go on this one, we're going to be pretty standard. Here's our light attack. You can see it doesn't break shields quite as well as the Jawbone axe, just because it doesn't have quite as much weight behind it. But it's still a decently powerful attack. And if we do we'll do a jumping strong attack. Hiya! 992 damage. And now we'll do a standing one. We'll show you how much damage we can get with that. 1300s, high 1300s. And then for our two-handed attack. So you can see that we whip up a little lightning tornado and charge the axe with the electrical energy. So it has, again, like a lot of these, it's going to have that initial damage and then also charge up the weapon. There we go, now we took care of that idiot. Okay, so yeah, That is the Stormhawk axe. Like I said, it's one of my favorites. It's very fun to use, has very high damage, has a pretty cool special attack, and like I said, not only does the special attack do pretty cool damage, but then your axe is charged up with electrical energy for a while afterwards. So that is the Stormhawk axe. Let's move on to the number 1 best axe in the game. Alright, and so for our number 1 spot, we have Rosus axe. So for this one, you can see it's got probably the most unique design so far, at least for an axe type one. It's got just a big old circle on the top, but it's got some cool design to it. As far as stats on this one go, it's definitely by far the highest with a max attack power of 938, so over 100 points better than the Stormhawk axe, and an average guarded damage negation of 35.2. This one, for attributes required, has strength of 18, dex of 10, and actually intelligence of 18, so this one will require some intelligence. No passive effects, but it has Rosus summons for the two-handed attack. Now, as far as how to get this one or where to find it, we have to come over here. We're in the Liurny of the Lakes region. We come down from kind of this eastern side of it, follow the road down. Once you get to here, you cross off to the right, and you follow this lower ravine, and it'll come all the way back until you get to the Black Knife Catacombs. And once you found the Black Knife Catacombs, which are right where I just showed you, you're going to be looking for a stone sword barrier inside, which you're going to need to open up. Alright, and so you're not going to have to go very far before you find it, because we're just down and around. So we enter the Black Knife Catacombs, so we go down the hallway. There's really no twists and turns before you get here, and then you find it here, so you're going to need a stone sword key, just one, because it's already got the one in it, and then you'll be able to enter in here and loot it off this corpse. And just bear in mind that there are going to be a lot of skeleton enemies in here, so either bring something that deals faith damage, or use a faith spell to kill them initially, or just be ready to kill them over and over again until you're able to permanently disable the bones. So that is how you get it and where you find this axe. Alright, and then for combat, it's going to be pretty simple for the, well, at least for the initial attack. So here we're going to have our light attack, 722 damage, not bad at all. For 1,276 damage, I think we can do better than that. We'll add that crit in there and we'll get a nice strong crit attack. There we go, 1,554. So you can see, deals pretty dang high damage. And then again, we're going to find some fun stuff with the two-handed attack. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so you gotta have it right in with you, involved in the attack. So that's probably going to be one that's a lot more useful against bosses than individual small-time enemies like this. But that is Rosus axe. So like I said, best one in the game. Definitely a lot of stuff to go for with all these axes. Axes are a fun weapon type to use. They deal a lot of damage and still swing pretty dang fast. So you can see they're not that much slower than a standard straight sword. Yeah, that's axes. I've showed you where to find them, what they can do, what their stats are, and all that good stuff. So that's where we're going to end it for today. So I hope you enjoyed it, but we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you liked this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.